How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is it the first episode? It's the second episode of today. If you're here, welcome. Some of you were lucky enough to be treated to 2 actual episodes today. We did an episode at about 1:30. We were live for nearly 2 hours at about 1:30 this afternoon. And for those of you that were not working, or for those of you that were not otherwise, doing other tasks, you could have been taking part in that live if you would have made your way to YouTube and you would have went to the political spotlight, the or the, whichever way you want to say it, the, depends on how I'm saying it, what's going on after and before. The political spotlight, you would have hit that in on search, and then you would have, if you would have went and you would have hit the subscribe button, then you would have hit the bell, and you would have set the bell up to give you notifications when we drop content or when we go live. Then you would have got a notification on your device that would have told you, bing, 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 the political spotlight is live at 1:30. We went live at 1:30 because we had some breaking news. The breaking news today, ladies and gentlemen, the breaking news was at 1:30 today, the Indiana State House was going to push through their third vote on J.D. Prescott's extremely, wildly, absolutely out of control, unconstitutional 1338 bill. And as you see it on the screen here, that's what the thumbnail looked like. You can go back and you can watch. We were live for 2 hours. Kate's got something here to show us, I think.
I brought the alcohol tonight, and as you can see, it's a very nice bottle of the appropriately named Rebel Red. I'm ready. Let's do this.
I'm double fisting it with my usual.
Mom, don't drink.
One of my friends brought me this from Gettysburg, and I figured Rebel Red on a night like tonight. Rebel?
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, I like it.
You can't. Perfect. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm ready, John. Let's do this.
Let's do it. I'm taking a drink from that Dasani and a drink from that Dasani. Boy. All right. So, it wasn't very good, folks. It's not very good. If you haven't heard, it wasn't very good. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a lot of things. Today wasn't very good. It did not go in our favor. But hey, it's politics. That's what happens. We don't like to act until they've literally taken our guns. They've got us up against the wall. We're totally screwed. And then that's when everyone's like, all right, I don't think I like this anymore. I think we ought to do something. I'm trying to get everybody to say, we need to be acting right now. And everyone's like, no. Why do we need to do that? So I want to let everyone know that in case you did not get a chance to see, if you did not get a chance to see today's ordeal, there is a 2-hour long version a 2-hour long version that you can go and watch. And it's from the time that I was made aware that it was going live. I was made aware earlier in the day. I've been talking with state representatives all day today. I've been sending out emails, text messages, making phone calls, fighting with people, vicious arguments on the phone, wonderful conversation, and a lot of craziness in between. And I do think that we changed the hearts and the minds of some patriots today, and we'll talk about that. But if you want to watch the full 2-hour long ordeal, there were a good number of people here live. You can watch that on our network. It's called episode 123, Breaking News, Indiana State House to call the third vote on House Bill 1338. However, if you don't want to watch that, I can let you all in on a little secret. I went in and I videoed the whole thing earlier, and then I went in and I edited down only what we needed to see, only what pertained to this bill. And so it cut it from about 2 hours to 13 minutes. So as soon as this live is over, I will get that 13-minute video up, and it will be in the video side, the static video side. Now, we are going to play some clips from that video. So tonight's agenda, we're going to be talking about two topics. We're going to be talking about House Bill 1338 and the cluster that today became, and then we're going to go into talking about the Delaware County Council meeting that will take place tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Now, for everyone that is here in Delaware County or that's here in East Central Indiana, we are hoping that tomorrow's meeting takes place. I was made aware this evening, that apparently we are under the threat of some nasty winter weather this evening. I had no idea. I had no clue. So apparently we're supposed to be getting some ice and some winter mix. Hopefully that does not impede the video tomorrow. I will be going live. I'm hoping that we'll be able to live stream it. If the meeting's going tomorrow, we will be live streaming it here. I will be there and in person. Tomorrow's meeting at Delaware County Council meeting at the Delaware County building downtown is going to be a big meeting. I can Delaware County House Bill pop, and then that's just it. Absolutely, Joe. Hey, I do want to let you know. No, John, come back here. I got to talk with you. It didn't take 13 minutes. Oh, Diane said that. I thought John said that, but instead, Diane said it. No, it took a lot less. Of that 13 minutes, I talk for like 9 of it. So it took a hell of a lot less for them to violate each and every one of us today. I had some of the most asinine arguments and conversations with people today. Jack is going to get me on his side very soon. Because if I hear literally one more person tell me If you don't vote, you can't complain. I'm going to go on a 25-year voting strike. Because I'm like, watch me not vote and also do a whole hell of a lot of complaining. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is not amazingly in the First Amendment. I don't find that anywhere. I don't see anywhere in the First Amendment where it says, hey, by the way, you have to vote in order to utilize your First Amendment right. So that's very, that's just something that's bothersome to me. Okay. So tonight's episode, well, yeah, that is true. Tonight's episode, I kind of got in my head on it a little bit. I was talking to someone earlier, and someone, Joe, someone tonight told me they were having conversations with me, and I liked what they were saying, and so I got this Pentagon, and the reason I got this Pentagon here, yeah, that's true. I got this Pentagon here because it's got 5 points, and you can really start anywhere you want on this, but I'm starting at the top. The game, the rules, the players, the field, the creation. Now, when I'm talking about the creation, I'm not talking about in the religious sense. Obviously, there is a creator, and we all are aware, or I guess maybe some of us aren't, and you're free to believe as you choose. I believe that there is a creator of all of this, and the creator has created this creation and everything in it. That's not specifically what I'm talking about tonight. I am talking, when I mention the word creation, I mean creation of this political game that we play. And so, there's a lot of things that come to mind when you think about the game, the rules, the players, the field, and the creation of the game. Who created the game? Who created the rules? Who created the field in which we play it on? Who's at fault for this? No, I have not heard that. Virus X will end humanity. I've not heard that. Or maybe I've known it all this time. I don't know. If it's something I need to read, send it to me. If it's something about medicine, don't send it to me. I'm a hypochondriac, so I don't know if I need to see it or not. But my monologue for tonight, it's kind of weird. I had written out, politics isn't about the game. A lot of people think that it is. It is not about the game. It's not really about rules, or it's not about the rules, because we can bend the rules. The rules can bend their way. They can bend our way. They can bend whichever way. There's no rules in politics, honestly, anymore. Look, politics really even isn't about the players, because how frequently do we find that the players just move one step to the left and everybody just, it's like, it doesn't really matter. It's like faceless, nameless people doing the same thing. The old lyric, the Who's lyric, the lyric from the Who, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, that type of thing. The players don't really matter. Okay. So the game doesn't matter. The rules don't matter. The players don't matter. The field, is it Muncie? Is it Anderson? Is it Newcastle? Is it Winchester? Is it someplace in Ohio? Someplace in Kentucky? Are we talking about Washington, D.C.? Talking about London, England? Wherever we're talking about. So that doesn't matter. The creation. Who created all of this? Or who allows for this game to continue on? Who created the game and why? Who determined the rules and for whose benefit? Who allows that to continue on? Who named the players and who they are? Why they are, who they are? What about the field of play and in what way does it shape everything else? This is all very kind of like, whoa, hippy dippy, man, but it's not really. It all basically boils down to it's my fault and it's your fault and it's our fault. That's the issue. In this episode, we'll be looking at the horrible third vote in the House Bill 1338 that the Indiana House of Representatives took earlier in the day. The unconstitutional bill passed with the full House, 79 yeas to 17 nays. I'm hearing that might change one way or the other. It now moves on to the Indiana Senate for the committee vote before possibly then going on to the full Senate and then possibly going on to the governor. But there's a lot to discuss there. And then we'll get into the Delaware County Council meeting. We are going to talk a lot about that, I promise. But when looking and thinking about this deal with the state government, man, like so many of us were saying things today. We were all mad. We're all pissed off about what's going on. But the fact that there is a game to even play at all is the citizens' fault. It's your fault. All of you out there. My fault. It's our fault. It's all of our fault. Because the voters allow, like, for example, let's just look at what happened today in Indiana. The voters allow the Indiana GOP to run the show. We allow them to run the show. They then get to make the game up and they get to make the rules, but that's because we allow that. The biggest issue is the fact that they become accountable not to us, but accountable to each other. Think about that. Think about that. I'm on the phone with, I contacted about 30 different offices and 30 different people today. I talked to staff. Some of them were the same people. Some of them were different. I sent some emails. I sent some text messages. And I talked to a couple different representatives personally. But there was one of them specifically that I talked to that at the same time, he made me mad. He pissed me off. He made me extremely mad. And I also gained a little bit of respect for him. Or to companies and organizations. Yeah, that's very true. That's true. Now, I want to talk about this, and I was thinking about whether or not I was going to name this person again, because we talked about this person during the show this morning, but I'm going to talk about this person again. And it was Corey Criswell from District 54. Now, J.D. Prescott did not call me back. Actually, a person from J.D.'s staff called me back and was nervous as all get out. I was like, Ted Baker, is that you? But it wasn't Ted. It was someone that was working for J.D. Prescott. And he was like, whoa. And it was interesting because he's the guy that actually let me know that the vote was going to be today. And I was like, well, that's nice. That's nice. I don't think any of the representatives that I talked today were attorneys. I don't think anyone that I talked to was an attorney. I don't think anybody was a member of the bar. Some of them have been to the bar, and I don't think really push away from the bar very frequently. But I digress. So I was talking with Mr. Criswell, and I told Corey, because when Corey was running in 54, there were 8 people that were running. He was one of 8 people running for his seat. Now, I do not live in District 54, so I don't vote in District 54, but because of what I do, I am interested. And that's funny, when you're calling the state representatives, they're like, what's your address so we can verify that you live in the district? I'm like, I don't live in the district. I'm just contacting an elected official in Indiana. I am a citizen of Indiana, and so it matters to me what your idiot down there does. Oh, yeah. Roway, she's a stooge for the party. Toss her out. I've got no use for her. That you're right. Kyle Pierce is an attorney, and he did vote. Now, I will let you know, I do have a message into Kyle. I actually sent a message to Kyle a little bit ago and just said, hey, I want to pick your brain. I want to know why you didn't vote for this. Now, he's not seen my message yet. We're friends. We're personal friends on Facebook, so he's not seen my message yet, but he will. And as soon as he lets me know what his thoughts are, I will tell you, there were several Republicans that did not vote for this, and I was happy. They're patriots. There are several Democrats that did not vote for this, and in this manner, they are patriots. There was one Democrat who stood up and took on toe-to-toe, face-to-face with J.D. Prescott. And he is the true patriot of the day. Oh, yeah, Roway. Listen, folks, I'm going to tell you some real serious, hard truths here. There's some people that we all like because they're nice people, but they are damn horribly bad, horrible, damn horrible. That doesn't even make any sense. Elected officials. I'm going to tell you how it is. Scott Alexander, he needs to go. Elizabeth Roway, she needs to go. McKell Vaughn, he's not even state representative. He needs to go. There are people, I'm telling you, all up and down the aisle, all up and down the spectrum, from local to state to federal, that are good people, nice people. They're our friends, but they just need to get into another line of business and then still be our friends from another line of business, because they are not good at their job. I was talking with the spouse of an elected official today, and the spouse was telling me that it's not good to fight back always. You know, you got to play along sometimes. And I said, no, because we got to get stuff done. And I said, the job is not always about getting stuff done. The job is about doing the will of the people, doing what's right for the people. And these people can't get that. They think it's about the elbow rubs and the nods and the being the friends with the cool kids. The cool kids, man. We are governing like we are in 5th grade, school council, government class. We're not governing like it's the real world and this is real life and no one should give a shit about the popularity contest. I mean, all you got to do is look to the Delaware County Council and give me an L, give me an O, give me an S, give me an E, give me an R. With Piper, and know that, wait, Piper is not a good elected official. I know she might be a sweetheart and she might have all these great pictures where her and her mom get out there and they take what are those pictures that the girls used to go do at the mall every other day? They do their hair up real big. You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of what it is. Anyways, they take all these cool pictures and they have teacups in the yard and, they do cheers and things like that. Now that's cool and cute, but glamour shots, Eric. Glamour shots. That's got not a damn thing to do with actual politics. I don't care. I went to Delta. I don't care that Jessica Piper knows the Delta fight song. Delta has nothing to do with me anymore. I can't even spell Delta. I can't even tell you what the fight colors were. The colors, that was high school. If we're still living life like any of that shit matters, then you're not a serious person. Let me ask you a question. Everybody I talked to today said, well, this bill from the State House, this 1338, it doesn't take away your First Amendment rights. It just says that you have to keep decorum. And then what everybody threw in my face was, there has to be respect between both sides. And I would say, yes, there does. I'm okay with that. But where in this law governs your side? I don't see anything about when the counselor gets out of control. I don't see anything about when the representative gets out of control. I only see when the presiding officer feels that someone from the public is out of control, that they can do X, Y, and Z. Well, let's be honest. X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's taking you out of there, shutting you down, putting you in handcuffs, putting you in jail, criminally charging you. For what? I'm yelling into this microphone right now. If I was on the floor of the State House, would I be out of control or would I be passionate? Passion is okay. Anger is not a crime. Disappointment is not a crime. Explaining to our elected officials how we expect for them to behave is what it is about. So what happens when Johnny gets up and says, I don't want to give my name? And the council says, well, you have to. That's our policy. And Johnny says, I'm not going to give you my name. I don't have to give you my name. I don't feel safe giving you my name. I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to speak. Then what happens is the presiding officer says, you can't speak. Officer, take him out of here. That's no good. Representative Criswell, that's an example of that man's rights being violated. All right. As a citizen, Christopher Bilbrey gets up and I see that. And I'm going to fight for Johnny's rights. So I stand up to the podium and I say, all right, I'm going to give you my name. And my name is Puddingtane. Ask me again and I'll tell you the same or whatever that crap is. But
Dingleberry hand pump.
Yeah, yeah, that too. You just violated that guy's rights. And I want to know why. And I think it's bullcrap. And because I raise my voice, they then tell me that I'm not being polite. So they bang their gavel. That's one warning, Mr. Bilbrey. Warning for what? Warning for what? What did I do? Did I curse? Am I violent? Did I charge you? You know, they were telling me that people get unhinged really quickly. I've never been to a council meeting where there isn't at least 2 or 3 police officers. If a crime occurs, the police officers should act. They should do that now. We don't need more laws on top of more laws on top of more laws to tell us what we already know. Do you know in this 1338, they changed the trespass code? And let me be honest, even since the bill, they've went in and they've amended it again, and they've changed it again. Kate, you don't know this. They've changed it from being a government building to being any property. So let's look at it like this. Kate's kid has a cough. She takes the kid to the hospital, and 2 staffers come in and say, we're taking this kid back here. And Kate says, whoa. Don't take my kid anywhere. I'm going to be with him. And they're like, nope, we're going to take him back here. We're taking him back here. Ma'am, sit down there. And she's like, no, that's my kid. I'm going. And they say, look at the sign. It says restricted access only. Now Kate gets trespassed, and they've pulled her kid in there to what? Give him the vax? Give him the shot? What are they doing back there? Why did we change this? If this is about meetings, why did we change this from government to being anything? Now, we could get really conspiratorial right here. We could get real crazy with this. But
it's for his mommy and daddy, so he can have his little parties at their house and no one can come.
That's exactly what it is.
That's
Absolutely.
what that is. There's no need to get conspiratorial. It's obvious.
It's also about the legislative updates that happen at the library, and the legislative updates that happen at the the fairgrounds. Listen to that word, legislative update. What those used to be was events. They were events that were held. They were events that were held around the community, around the districts, and your representatives would go, and people from all around would come, and they would want to give them the news about what was happening. You would think that they would love somebody with a camera coming and recording that and putting that out there. But no. Not J.D. Prescott, not Scott Alexander. Scott Alexander might be your cool buddy, but he doesn't govern right. And if we go back and we listen to John Schrock, it's time to separate those people out. The people that are doing what we want done and the people that are not. And if there are people in power that aren't governing the way that we want it done, we have to tell them to sit down. We cannot keep voting these people in time after time after time after again. We cannot keep saying, well, the HRCC's got a lot of money, so they bought that election. What does that mean? There's still only a certain amount of people voting, and it's a numbers game. If we take more people in there than what they have, we will be able to beat them. Am I going to be trespassed if I'm reading poetry to the council? It's Dissent Against Leap that spearhead this bill through using the Chomo as an example. And that's a very, 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 very good question. Very good thought. It's a very good point. Absolutely. Any of that's going on. The thing we have to keep in mind is, like, think about this meeting tomorrow. This is a great for the people who's like, oh, shut up, just get to the Delaware County. Think about this. We're going to go to the Delaware County Council meeting tomorrow. And as citizens of Delaware County, we're going to hear some really crazy things tomorrow. We're going to hear things that are going to make people really, 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 really mad. And when that happens, when those people get really mad tomorrow, they might get up and they might say things. Now, thank God, House Bill 1338 is not going to be in effect until, if it goes into effect, it won't be in until July 1st of 2024. But if it was, when everybody gets pissed off tomorrow morning, this would be able to shut them down. Hello.
Well, hello, Christopher. I see you were reading the Stalin bill.
Yes.
Yeah. See, this is why I look down on the Republican Party in this state.
Absolutely.
Because they are Indiana Republicans, I guess, which is completely different. Which is more like socialist Democrats.
Right.
They are not Christian constitutional conservatives. I don't care what they say. No one who reads and understands the Constitution or reads the Founding Fathers and reads the letters between the Founding Fathers would even think about passing a bill like this. I mean, this is straight fucking Stalin.
Yeah.
The government, this country was founded by people who hated the government. They hated being screwed over. So they wrote a constitution and a Bill of Rights that gave the people the power to remove said government and said elected officials. And this is the country we used to tar and feather politicians.
Right.
You know,
We need to bring that back.
This is a country where when you had people who really believed in what they were doing as elected officials, who went and did a couple terms and then went back to their farms or whatever else they were doing, used to beat each other. They had duels.
Right.
Because they felt they were that convicted to preserve this country and what it stands for. I mean, they fought a war against a tyrannical government to have freedom, to not pay taxes, unduly taxes. Now we're taxed more than we were under King George the
Oh God.
II.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Third.
And this shit pisses me off.
Disobedience. Yes.
Well, the Founding Fathers said, if a law is unconstitutional, it is null and void, and there need not be followed. And it's not the government's decision to say that's constitutional or not constitutional. That's the people's, of the people, by the people, for the people. And the government we have in this state and in Washington, they are not of the people. They are not by the people, and they damn sure are not for the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is asinine. This is grotesque. This is disgusting.
This is the hill to die on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is the hill to die on.
Yeah.
I never read in the Bill of Rights where you had the right to bear arms if there was no stipulations. You had freedom of speech if there's the only stipulations put on anything in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights was the government.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, you see it in the local elections all the time. Nothing is going to change because people don't care. If they think it's going to affect them if they stand up, they'll just fall in line. I mean, it's like 1984.
Well, what kills me about this is J.D. Prescott stood on the floor of the State House today, and he literally said that he was contacted a couple years ago about this. Well, he's only been in office since 2018. This only became an issue in December 5th of 2022.
The insurrection.
Okay. What?
The insurrection.
Yeah. The local insurrection. So it's not like he was contacted years ago about this. It's like truth does not matter, and you can't hold, because if you do, well, you're not living up to the decorum standard, and you could be hauled out of there.
Well, I mean, it's going to end at the Supreme Court, because if I go to a meeting and start talking and they kick me out or arrest me, that shit ain't stopping until it gets to the Supreme Court.
Right.
I will freaking wear my uniform with all my shit on it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck these people. They are fucking spineless little fucking piss ants.
Well, and I'll tell you, there were some good people today. There were some patriots, both Republicans and Democrats, that stood up. Here's the bill. Here's the vote. Here's the way that this vote fell today. And if you look in the nays, the 17 nays, the first column underneath nay, those are all Democrats. In the second column under Hatfield, those are all Democrats. However, in the third column under Payne and Pierce are both Republicans, and then Porter, Pryor, Shackelford are Democrats. And then Smith and Summers are Democrats. So, not many, but we did have 2 Republicans that voted no to this. And I'm hearing that there's one more Republican that accidentally voted yay, who's apparently switching the vote tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Christopher, anyone who voted yes for that is a Stalinist, Marxist, godless piece of shit.
I'm telling you.
I never thought the Democrats would be the constitutional conservatives in Indiana.
Yeah,
no
right.
Shit.
Right.
I can't even believe that they need to change their name to the Socialist Party of Indiana.
Right.
That's what they are. They are a bunch of fucking socialists.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to play this. Let me see if I can pull this up here. I want to play just for the folks that did not get a chance to see today. Let me see if I did the right thing here. I did. Okay, here it is.
148:26 or something like that.
Where
they start the discussion.
Oh no, I've got the pared down.
Oh, you've got it tagged. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it pared down.
I can't believe that these people would even attempt something like this. This
Hey,
country
good
was
afternoon.
not founded by motherfuckers who had decorum.
And then to the no.
I mean, they were a bunch of, well, yeah, there's the prize himself. Mr. I don't need to go to college. I'm a Prescott. It shows.
A bill for an act to amend
Yeah.
Indiana code concerning state.
Chair recognizes Representative Prescott. Speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House. House Bill 1338. First,
He's
I'm
even
gonna
got a
give you little
tie bar on,
backstory
but
as
it's
to
still
how
crooked.
This came to the forefront for me. So a couple of years ago, my local elected officials reached out, let me know about a problem that they were having with individuals showing up, disrupting public meetings. I encouraged them to adopt a set of rules of decorum, kind of like what we have.
A couple years ago, did he say?
So,
Yeah.
after that first meeting after
These motherfuckers have never stood up for anything in their life and put their life on the line for anything. It shows. I'm going to bed. I ain't gonna waste any more time on these dumb.
Why is law enforcement not? If they're not, they shouldn't be in their jobs.
Association County.
They do. Oh my God, Yoko.
So you're hearing some other audio for when we watch this live today, and what one of the viewers today noticed was they don't have JD's name up here. They don't have him as Representative JD Prescott, Republican, Union City, House District 33. They have him as Representative Shane Lindauer, a Republican, Jasper, House District 63. Now, if I was Shane Lindauer, I would sue somebody, but it is what it is. This is Shane Lindenauer.
1338. Establish a basic set of rules of decorum and
How
local
nervous
government
is he?
meetings. It applies only to local
Look at his
government
handshake.
meetings. It does not include school boards or charter schools. Reason for that is there's legislation here recently that just changed how those meetings affect school corporations. So
Yeah,
I did not
speaking
wanna
to the
touch
mic,
that code that we
Shane.
addressed just last year. If a governing body allows attendees to speak at a topic in a meeting,
If I
or
was
a
Shane
governing body
Lindenauer, I'd be
designated
mad.
I would be pissed.
for a period of time, the public testimony that is before or during the governing body's discussion or consideration of the topic.
So we've heard
Before
all
the
this.
governing
We've
body takes
read
final
it.
action on
I
the
just
topic,
wanted to show you
it
this
can,
is him on the floor.
address the
This is what he's doing.
where-
Now, what's
and
really of interest to me is this
there are
is this
situations-
guy.
That's the intent of the bill. Thank you.
Watch
Speak
this
on the
now.
bill. Representative Bartlett, speak on the bill. You're out the yield, he yields.
Hey, get ready to take.
Have to use to enforce.
Yeah.
Representative Prescott, why is this bill necessary?
Yes, sir.
Thank
So,
you.
without this legislation, the only thing that our locals have to use to enforce their rules of decorum is opinions by our public access council.
Is the
Luke
state
Britt.
law.
So really what we're doing was we're codifying what Luke Britt has given in his opinions to enforce rules of decorum at local meetings.
Shouldn't taxpayers have that right to go to government meetings and question? And I don't think it'd be disruptive, but shouldn't they have that right?
Absolutely, taxpayers should have that right to show up at meetings, but they have to be so civilly. We need to, just like we're conducting business here today, right? We have rules of decorum, how we conduct business as a body, how we conduct business in our committee meetings as well. So yes, I want to make sure that everybody's First Amendment right is protected.
Bullshit.
And really what we have happening in Winchester, for example, where this, where the request came for this legislation, you have average everyday constituents that are being shut out from public meetings because a select few individuals interrupt, disrupt, and have to adjourn early or just get
They've never adjourned
No one's
early.
adjourned early.
Where-
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of how many people now that their problem child who they're referencing is in jail and is going to be gone for a very, very long period of time. I'm going to keep track of how many Winchester citizens return back to the meetings. Winchester has always, from 2006 through about 2013, they had 3 or 4 citizens a meeting in there. And then when we started going and getting people involved, more and more people started attending. Now, the meetings have been packed, and they've been packed by citizens. They just happen to be not the citizens that the mayor happens to like, because they don't agree with him and they don't go along with him. And so that's where this decorum thing is kind of an issue, because when the presiding officer gets to dictate what the decorum is, that's a problem. That's an issue. That's why we shouldn't have feelings deciding this, and we should allow the laws to. If someone breaks the law, the police officer arrests that person. But if we have one person acting as the feelings police, well, I don't feel this is right, that gets into a really muddy, murky water.
Constituents that don't feel comfortable being at the meetings because the way some of these individuals are
Well,
acting.
since
So
he's been in jail, they
we're
haven't
trying to
showed
find
up,
here,
so it
when
obviously
person
wasn't the
A's First
issue.
Amendment rights start to violate person B's First Amendment rights. We want to make sure everybody's treated equally under the law and can show up, air their grievances to the public, but we just want to do so in an orderly, respectful fashion.
Okay, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. My fear is, an elected person gets asked uncomfortable questions.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times questions are uncomfortable. But if you're an elected official, you should be able to handle that. And this bill kind of scares me from that perspective.
Yes,
I
sir.
see where you're going.
Thank
but-
you. Who is this guy?
Whoa,
I don't know.
thank you.
It is
I like
find
him.
out. Bartlett, Representative Bartlett.
You author yield, he yields.
And then Borders comes up
Thank
here.
you, Mr. Speaker,
Jesus.
ladies and gentlemen of the House, I apologize, Representative Prescott. I hold you in high regard, and I into the bill in more depth early. I would have gotten a hold of you ahead of time. But my concern is having served as a mayor, I know at times we would have individuals that would show up and get a little rowdy, but not
Violent.
not radically so. But one of the concerns that I have was some of those I think that have been asked before. Again, I just want to make sure that people who come and may just have just a disagreement with, whether it be a city council or
It's okay to get
county
angry.
council meeting or whatever, that it's not taking away any of their rights to come and ask the questions and so forth that they normally would be able to do under normal circumstances.
Yeah, so this bill would not prohibit anybody from coming and asking questions. They could still do that.
Until they upset an elected official who says that they're being disruptive.
Adopting their rules of decorum, and they would do so with their legal counsel. I want to make sure nobody's First Amendment rights are violated. We want to make sure that civil discussions being had. That's all we're doing here.
So, look at this as removing any freedoms that people have had, as long as they are basically acting with decency in the meetings.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Further discussion on the bill. Chair sees none. Would the author like to close? He waives it. Questions on final pass of the bill. When the machine is open, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no.
So that's what it is. We watch the votes come in, and it goes 79 to 17. And I said again tomorrow that might kick to 78 to 18. We will have to wait and see about that. But that's what the situation is there. And it's sad to see that happen. It's heartbreaking. It is what it is, and that is what that is. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. I'm really sad to hear about that. Now, okay, from there, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to kick into the Delaware County solar saga. And keep in mind a lot of what I was just talking about with that. Imagine, just walk with me into the world of make-believe, if you will, and imagine that tomorrow is August of 2024, and imagine that our elected officials down at the State House didn't care about the citizens' wishes, didn't care about the Constitution, and the Senate votes that through committee. The Senate votes it on the floor, and then it goes to our governor, who, he's asleep at the wheel. And they pass that law, and that law goes into effect July 1st, 2024. And then tomorrow's meeting isn't Tuesday, January 23rd. It's actually Tuesday, August 23rd. And we're going into the meeting, and we hear some crazy stuff, and some citizens start getting a little concerned, and then they escort us all out in handcuffs. I could just, listen, because I'm going to tell you, Jessica Piper does not want to deal with this. She's already made it clear that she does not want to hear from the citizens involved in this. She does not want to let them speak. She does not want to hear from them. She does not want to be anywhere near this. She wasn't at this vote when it was voted on back in November, December. She was in Hawaii with a basketball team doing whatever she was doing down there. And that meeting ran very smooth. Bill Hughes was the acting president, and this topic went through very smoothly, and everyone felt heard, and it was a great meeting. Now, the highlighter queen is back, and she's in charge, and there is a show going on. Now, I don't know what the deal is, but I believe in my heart of hearts that there is somebody in some way pushing the levers or pulling the strings, putting some puzzle pieces in place, because some craziness is going on. So a couple months ago, the commissioners were in a meeting, and James King's like, I've never heard of this. I didn't hear about this until it started coming forward. I didn't know. But all the way back in July of 2021, an economic development agreement was put in place. An economic development agreement. And the reason that economic development agreement was put in place is because it needed to go into place for a tax abatement document to be put in place so that they could go to the council and ask for a tax abatement. Now, what I've stated here, so some people have heard this, some people haven't. I want to make sure that we're very clear about what's going on here. After the last couple council meetings, where we were was the tax abatement committee was supposed to meet again and determine if everything still was the same, if a tax abatement was actually needed, because we've heard that some of the information wasn't right, that Baker Tilly gave some false numbers. They didn't do it on purpose. They did it on accident. Whose fault was it? It was my fault. It was your fault. It's our fault. Nobody wanted to take the fault. Baker Tilly kind of got hit on the head. No fault came on the council. No fault came on the commissioners, who are the elected officials. No fault came on any of the attorneys involved. Why would it? No fault came on Mr. Brad Bookout. Why would it? Everybody's wanting to point fingers in other directions, where, in my opinion, the buck stops with the elected officials. I don't care about the volunteers. I don't care about the people that are getting paid the big bucks to be contract attorneys. I care about the people that we elect to be in office. At the end of the day, the buck stops with the elected official, period. Okay? So some weirdness went on. So they wanted to go through a tax abatement, and they wanted to hear what the tax abatement, qualifications were, and if this was needed, and what exactly happened with that. Well, I want to give you guys an understanding of what occurred during the tax abatement meeting. So at the tax abatement committee meeting, which occurred on January 9th at 10 a.m., there were about 30 citizens there. Bill Hughes, county councilor, was there. He's an attorney, has been the council attorney for years past. He had about a 150-page document that he read from. It was very, very well put together. Baker Tilly was there. Brad Bookout was there. And they answered questions. The number one question answered was, does the Delaware County Council have access, have the right, have the ability, have the means to be able to rescind the tax abatement if they so choose? And what they were told was, without a doubt, no question, yes, the council could rescind the tax abatement. Okay, that's important. There's also a couple of key important informations that came to light. Okay, number one, Meadow Forge and Hawthorne, the companies that are solar companies, they're not just private solar companies now. As of January 2022, they became utility companies by state law, by the state, by those in the state. They are seen as utility companies. Now, what does that mean? First of all, in my opinion, I want to say something very important. If the law went into effect in January 2022, that made these people utility companies, then those of you in the know, when did that get voted on? Think about what's happening right now. The state house is working on bills, and they're either going to go in effect in July or they'll go in effect in January. If this law went into place in January 2022, then it would have had to have been voted on. It would have had to have been talked about in the session prior, at the beginning, January, February, March, April of 2021. Well, when did this tax abatement come before the council? It came before the council in October or November of 2021. So when they were coming before the council asking for the tax abatement, it had already been voted on. It was a done deal. They were just a few months out from it becoming utility companies. So they knew at that point that just in a few months, they were going to be utility companies. So in my opinion, did they do something wrong there? You know, does that seem fraudulent? And you know, look, hypothetically speaking, in my opinion, like, I don't know. I'm not saying they are. I'm saying that seems like a little fishy.
It's not necessarily fraudulent, but it's definitely disingenuous to not have that information presented to the tax abatement.
Disingenuous at best.
At best.
If they specifically took steps to hide that or not put it forward, that's really questionable. So that's all I'm getting there. You know, I don't know. That's something the councilmen are going to have to ask. Maybe it's not important to them. Seems very concerning to me. Seems very, very concerning to me. Okay, moving on from there. They also learned at the Tax Abatement Committee that the property assessments now, because they are utility companies, will come from the state and not locally. Okay? So because of that, it now they became aware that the companies are now on an accelerated depreciation schedule for the investment. So $155 million will be depreciated to 30% of that number within 3 years. It will then remain at the 30% as the floor in any year beyond that number, but the equipment value depreciates at a much higher rate than anyone realized. What? Interesting. Very strange. Meaning, when they are receiving the highest abatement amount, 100%, 90%, 80% in the first 3 years, their equipment will be depreciating much faster. All in all, the company didn't need the abatement to begin with. No way. What? No way. They didn't need the abatement? Wow. That's crazy. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, skip ahead from there. There was an executive session held the other night. We, of course, don't know what happened in the executive session. I have since forth heard from various people in county government. I've heard all sorts of weird stories. All kinds of crazy things are happening. Again, people are pushing for this to go forward. People do not want the council to vote on this. People do not want to hear about this in government. They don't want to allow the citizens of Delaware County to speak. But there is something very, very concerning. Now, I want to let you guys know, I will be live streaming the meeting from this page tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So anybody that wants to watch this meeting can do it. So from right here at the Political Spotlight, click on the page, you'll be able to see the meeting. This is where things are going to get a little funky. Okay. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to let you guys see this. And I'm telling you, it's almost, we're not going to be able to go through all of this. I'm just going to go through some of the hot spots. Anybody in the county that wants this, hit me up on social media and I will message it to you. I have the 33-page economic development agreement. I have been requesting this from the county for going on 3 months, and the county has fought me for it every step of the way. I finally got it through another source. And let me tell you, what I found just completely blew my mind. All right. Put this up on the screen here. This is the first page of the agreement for economic development between the Delaware County, Indiana Meadow Forge Solar Energy Company and the Delaware County Commissioners. So this agreement is between the solar company and it's between the commissioners. So the commissioners are Cowboy Kid, James King, Cowboy Kid, Shannon Henry, and their sleepy sister, Sherry Reagan. All right. So those three people and the solar company are making this agreement. This is the ERA. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. David LaRue. Yes, sir. Now, here's my thing. David, Stumblefoot, Janet, Clinton, Jack, anybody who wants to answer this, I want you to answer me this right here. Try to answer as quickly as you can. Who do you believe if we are wanting to be protected, who should have put this agreement together? Should the commissioners and their attorney put it together? getting the best benefit for the citizens and the county? Or should we have allowed the company to do it and us just blindly accept whatever they put together? Give me number one for Delaware County doing it the right way, and number two, if you think we should allow the company to do it. Who should do it? One or two? One's the right way, two's the bad way. Which way you think we should do it? Okay. In my opinion, the county should have been working this, should have been there piece by piece by piece by piece. This should have been a negotiation, not a we're going to steamroll right over top of you and we're going to put everything in and you guys are going to like it. And, you know, that's the way it's going to be. This agreement was put together by the company. Okay. Now, things like that happen. So here's the next question. If I'm a commissioner, all right, I am one of the commissioners, and I've got a company coming in here and wanting to do business with us, and they present me with a 33-page document. Do you believe that I, as a commissioner, should look at this and should know this document inside and out? Or should I say, oh, that's okay, my attorney has it. They'll let me know. Look, the attorney is not elected, folks. Period. When they're watching the rook, the knight is moving into position. I want to know, and I'm going to ask the commissioners this coming up very soon. Did you guys go through this with a fine-tooth comb? Who read this full document? Did James King read it? Did Sherry Riggin read it? Did Henry read it? Is this something that the company just came in and said, here you go, this is what we want to do? And they said, great. Did John Brook do it? Look, I'm going to be honest. If our John Brook attorney told the commissioners that this was a good deal for the county, we need a new attorney. They need to fire John Brook tomorrow if he told them that this was a good agreement for the county. If the commissioners let that happen, I don't care. I don't care what you think Stephen Brand did. I'm going to be very clear. If James King voted for this, he signed this document. Because of this document right here, Stephen Brand should be the next commissioner in District 1, period. Nothing else matters. I forgive James King on everything else he's ever done. I give him total forgiveness on everything. This document right here, this alone, James King should no longer be commissioner. Period. Period. The reason being is when we go through this document and we go through page by page by page, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and then we get to page 6. Ladies and gentlemen, we get to section 11. And section 11 deals with the fact that the commissioners and this company made an agreement that if this didn't go through, or if something happened, if it was rescinded, even though there had never been anything rescinded in Indiana like this before, They put it in that essentially Delaware County was going to be on the hook for $5.6 million. So at that point, toss the economic development agreement out, toss the tax abatement out, pass the tax abatement through, don't pass it, don't do whatever. They screwed us. This is like the commissioner saying, if we deal with you, we'll give you money. If we don't deal with you, we'll give you money. If you get your way, we'll give you money. If you don't get your way, we'll give you money. We're just going to give it to you, and it does not matter. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Stand by, John. I will send it to you while we're speaking. There's no I don't forget. So there's nothing. I'm going to do it right now because I want to make sure that you get it. I want to make sure that you have it. Stand by. Okay.
I sent it to Dave LaRue.
Okay, awesome. And you sent the whole thing to him? Awesome. And I sent to you, Stumblefoot. Anybody else that wants this from Delaware County, I'm going to post it on my social media as well. And to have the nerve to pretend like they had no idea this company was in the community signing leases, that's ridiculous! Now, you want to tell me how someone can sit and hear this shit and not be mad? And look, I don't want any ill will towards James King, to Sherry Riggin, to Shannon Henry. If he popped a tire right out here, if he popped a tire right out here, I'd go help him right now. I just don't want them to be in charge of anything anymore. I don't want them to be in charge of, I don't know that they should, go to the bathroom by themselves, honestly. To me, I think that they're so incompetent that they almost need help going pee in the middle of the night. Like, I'm not really sure that they can handle that on their own. But I know sure as hell they cannot handle the big government of Delaware County. They cannot. They cannot. Clinton, I'm probably okay with that too. Whichever one comes first. Look, folks, this is big. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Now, there's other aspects of this. There are things that I know that I can't talk about. There are things that I don't know that I'm being told are going to blow our mind tomorrow. I am telling you, citizens of Delaware County, tomorrow is going to be a turning point. And the best part about this kind of stuff normally happens when we're 2 years out from an election. But not this time. This is happening at the exact perfect time. See, we are in the 2024 election. And there are going to be people that are running against James King. I don't know if anybody's running against, I don't know if anyone's running against Sherry Riggin or not. But if they do, we can take her out. If not, we at least can get King out. We at least can get King out. Listen. We can go to the polls in May and we can vote. All right, I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying. We can go to the polls in May and we can vote. And we can do it in such a way that we do not elect Jessica Piper back to the council. We must say no more cowardly governing. Unelect Jessica Piper Tuesday, May 7th. Yeah, Ryan Webb is running for counselor at large. We need to unelect this person on the screen. This person cannot handle it. She just can't handle it. She might be a nice friend. She might be a good friend to some of you people out there, and that's great. I love it. Be all the friends you want. Go and get all the coffee. Take all the glamour shots you want. Take all the trips to wherever she takes trips to. Do all that stuff, but just don't be in the government in Delaware County anymore. I'm going to post this up. We read through this last night, but this highlighted section talks about how your Delaware County commissioners made an agreement with this company to basically screw over the citizens of Delaware County. And it's like the commissioners don't care. It's not their money. Jessica Piper doesn't care. They still got power. They get the power. They get to be who they are. I'm telling you, folks, there's craziness going on with Ed Carroll in the auditor's office. He needs to no longer be the auditor. Delaware County government is a mess. The Delaware County Republican Party is a mess. And we need a totally new overhaul, a new makeup as far as the Republican Party, Ed Carroll, James King. We can't get rid of Shannon Henry this go. But we will next time. Maybe he won't even run for re-election, hopefully. We're going to hear some things tomorrow in the meeting, folks, that are going to blow our minds. When you hear that your elected officials are not looking out for your best interest. The attorneys are there to give the counselors, to give the commissioners the best information possible. When they're not doing it, it's like, why? Who are they working for? Are the commissioners working for us, or are they working for the insurance companies? Are the attorneys working for us, or are they working for the insurance company or the solar companies? Does he want that email read on the air? Also, don't
It's a pretty damn good email.
Don't get poked by the stamp licker tomorrow. Yeah. Does Brandon, are you here? Do you want that email read?
He also put up a video.
Are we supposed to do
He said you can show it live if you would like to.
Okay. I didn't know we had a live video. Let me see what we've got going. Interesting. But you see how this show has all blended together? Because think about what we're going to hear tomorrow. Think about the things. Think about, I'm telling you, I'm highly expecting there be people be angry tomorrow. And that's okay. Don't be violent. Don't be out of control. Be respectful. Be angry. State your case. Don't be unhinged with it. Do what you got to do. I support you 100%. I'll be there and I'll be just as angry with you, and I'll stand with you side by side. But this show and this bill and the Delaware County deal is going hand in hand. It's ridiculous that we have elected officials who are spending all of this time trying to protect one another. Okay. I appreciate that, Ryan. All right, we've got a 52-second little clip here that we are being told we need to be watching.
Brando's been on a roll lately.
Yeah.
He's had some good stuff.
Here we go.
I like when he gets riled up about government. He becomes fun.
Here we go. Yeah. Not even respectful. I guess just respectful of the process, not of the people, I guess, is what I mean by it. All right, here we go. I'm going to take me off here. I'm going to load this up full. We're going to find out what this is together.
Shouldn't taxpayers have that right to go to government meetings and question? And I don't think it'd be disruptive, but shouldn't they have that right?
Absolutely, taxpayers should have that right to show up at meetings, but they have to be so civilly. We need to, just like we're conducting business here today, right? We have rules of decorum, how we conduct business as a body, how we conduct business in our committee meetings as well. So yes, I want to make sure that everybody's First Amendment right is protected.
I love it. Oh, Brandon, I knew. Let me see here. So he talks about how he likes protecting. He wants to make sure everybody's First Amendment right is protected.
Business here today, right? We have rules of decorum, how we conduct business as a body, how we conduct business in our committee meetings as well. So yes, I want to make sure that everybody's First Amendment right is protected.
I want to make sure everyone's First Amendment right is protected. Then the news release says ACLU of Indiana sues Representative J.D. Prescott for banning constituent from his legislative Facebook page. Okay. Then we go on to the next part. The interactive portion of a public official's Facebook page is considered a public forum. Thus, public officials cannot block constituents from commenting because of opinions they hold, said Gavin M. Rose, ACLU of Indiana senior attorney. Representative Prescott's practice of silencing citizens on Facebook who are critical of his positions is unconstitutional. I love it. I love it, Brando. A great, great video. I think it's absolutely hilarious, and another great video by Brando. I think, does he say, is it up? It's scheduled to go up. It will be up. We'll get it going. I'll get a thumbnail. I got a perfect thumbnail for it. We're going to put it in the East Central Indiana politics playlist, and we'll get that ready to go for everybody. What a great I love Brandon. Okay, good. Curb your First Amendment.
Now, don't forget, you've got the email that he wrote to Bartlett today too.
Yeah, we'll get that here too. So I'm assuming we've always got to be very careful, because there's a Bartlett running against Prescott. We're not talking about him. We're talking about Representative Bartlett, who Prescott is arguing with here, right? Is that who we're talking about? Okay. So, and did he say he was good with us putting that up? Okay. I guess he is. We'll find out if he isn't. Let's see. Oh yeah, this will be good. Here is an email. Hello, Representative Bartlett. My name is Brandon, and I am a citizen of District 33. I am writing to you today to thank you for speaking out against House Bill 1338, which was authored by my own Representative J.D. Prescott. I share many of the same concerns that you do regarding this bill, and am worried that it will be used to abuse the First Amendment rights of citizens. The council that brought this issue to JD's attention is the same council that was sued 7 years ago for arresting a citizen for speaking out against them. This resulted in a lawsuit which the city lost for abusing the citizens' rights. Prescott also has a history of violating the First Amendment rights, being sued by the ACLU and myself, Mr. Brandon, for blocking me and other citizens on social media accounts he used to conduct business as a state representative. Furthermore, he has also called the police on citizens for recording his legislative updates, which ended up being a waste of time because that is not an illegal act. I do not believe this bill is being done in good faith, and is instead an action intended to restrict the First Amendment rights of citizens and to protect himself from transparency. I appreciate your efforts to oppose this bill and applaud your dedication to the Constitution. Unfortunately, your colleagues are more worried about shielding themselves from criticism than doing what is right for the citizens of Indiana. Thank you, Brandon Badass from the Political Spotlight. I think that's amazing, Brando. What a great, great, great letter. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I think that is wonderful. So, I'm thinking that, Janet, are you a little bit behind? Are you saying you would like a copy of the 30 pages? Okay. I think Kate's going to send you a copy of the 30 pages. So she's got you working there. Do I need to come protect you tomorrow, Bilbrey? Hey, Audie, if you want to come up there, it ought to be a good show. If you're off work, and you are off work. Yeah. You ought to pop out by there and see. It's 9 o'clock. Ought to be a good time. And you better get there early, though, because it's going to be packed, I'm hearing. I'm hearing it is going to be packed. The last couple meetings have been. And I'm telling you, I feel like we are on, maybe at least locally, like the precipice. I feel like we're on the edge of either complete just horrible destruction or maybe some change. I don't know. I'm hoping that things are going to be moving in a right direction. But I am also realistic, so you never know. I will tell you that we will be... Audie's been there a time or two. It's been a minute, but he's been there. I will tell you, the county council meeting tomorrow will be live streamed here, and we will be live tomorrow evening. I'm sorry for cutting it a little short tonight. We've been talking for about an hour and 38 minutes. I did 2 hours this afternoon, and I am losing my voice, as you can hear. So we are getting ready to shut her down. But I'm letting you know, folks, we're seeing crazy stuff happening, and this all goes together. And for those of you wanting to know how to now fight against House Bill 1338, we've been talking for the last couple of days about contacting state representatives. For those of you that thought we had days and days and days to do that, you now see they're not playing around. If you want to fight back against this, you need to call your state senators now, not your representatives, your state senators, and you need to call them tomorrow. You need to call them.
They're not going to play. Their goal is to get out of this session as quickly as humanly possible so they can get to campaigning.
Yep.
So we do not have time to sit around on this. You have got to call. You've got to call tonight, call tomorrow, call the next day, because they will probably hear it before the end of the week.
And I could see them at least getting a committee assignment, because the two sponsoring senators are idiots. JD's buddies. Alexander and Rotz. So that's that.
Oh, more local idiots. Great.
Yeah, right. And everyone you see here,
y'all blame District 33, Randolph County, part of Delaware County, Blackford County. It's all our fault for voting these fools in to put this shit through.
That's definitely true. You see what David says here.
They're trying to get out fast, though, so don't delay on calling.
Yeah. There's no, don't delay, call today. David LaRue says, I totally support any of the county council who will overturn the tax abatement. Here's the problem we're now in, David, is if they overturn it, we owe $5.6 million. The county screwed us. The county commissioners screwed us. So we're going to have to find out if the commissioners even had the right to be able to do that. Did they have the right to be able to push that in on us and make us in a spot where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't? Like, I've never heard of such a thing. Total insanity. So we'll have more on this tomorrow. We will be live tomorrow, live on location at Delaware County Council meeting, the Delaware County building at 100 West Main Street at 9 a.m. And then 12 hours after that at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will give you live commentary right here. Tomorrow's show, ladies and gentlemen, it's been waiting. We've been here waiting for a long time. Tomorrow's episode will be called The Great Abate Debate. Man, I love it. The Great Abate Debate. Isn't that amazing? Concrete came up at Workman's today. It was to be reused. Wasn't supposed to be removed. Yeah, that's what Audie was telling us about. I don't know what's going to happen there. That's pretty crazy. I don't know. So
what's going to happen there? Well, add another $100,000 to the bill.
Yeah, that's what Audie and I were talking about today. So we'll have some more about that tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll have more. Oh, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got a next couple days of busy show, so don't go anywhere. Tune in here. I will rest my voice, and I will see all of you back here in the morning tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening. Take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Good night. Goodbye.